Join us on a journey into one of the poorest countries in the world, Zambia. As you look around, you will notice that every inch of their landscape is filled with children. In fact, 50% of the population is under the age of 15. 12 million AIDS orphans live in sub-Saharan Africa, leaving an entire generation without parents. Much of their time is spent searching for the basics of life, things that you and I take for granted: water, food, and shelter. And because they are so vulnerable, they fall prey to sex trade, HIV/AIDS, disease, and malnutrition. Each day is a constant struggle, teetering between life and death, and sadly, many accept the fact that their future and life have been chosen for them, and there is little they can do to change it. African Vision of Hope started their first school in 2003 with 43 children in a rented tavern and a lot of faith. Our mission is to help transform these families and communities physically and spiritually, lifting an entire generation out of poverty. We know that providing a strong foundation in all areas of their lives will change the poverty that can be seen, but also the poverty that is in their hearts, hopelessness. 32,000 meals a month are now served to children enrolled in the African Vision of Hope schools. Because they are now receiving nutritious meals, they are active and able to learn. Children who were drinking water that was contaminated are now drinking clean water from wells that you helped provide. So instead of spending hours fetching water, children are now spending time in the classroom, and families have more time to work. African Vision of Hope also has a boarding school and orphanage that provides a home for 52 vulnerable and orphaned children. These children are provided with one of the most precious gifts in Africa, an education. Without it, their chances for survival are grim. Over the past 8 years, we have sent your donations across the world, and lives started changing. And now, African Vision of Hope schools serve over 1,000 children in 4 communities in Zambia, impacting thousands of families. Most of the children in these communities would not be able to attend school as they cannot afford the mandatory school fees and the requirement to wear shoes and a uniform. We are reaching out to the most vulnerable and orphaned children, providing them with free education so they can reach their full potential and be able to use the abilities that they have been given. Our first graduating class will take place in November with 24 joy-filled children who have reached a lifelong goal of having a high school education. "12,000 children die daily in this part of the world, 500 an hour, 8 a minute, all from preventable illnesses. Thanks to your generous donations, the Hope Clinic is now serving thousands of children and families. The on-staff nurse is also traveling to the remote schools and villages, providing life-saving medical care to communities who cannot reach a clinic. Abstinence and HIV/AIDS education is an important part of the children's education. It is vital that they understand how to keep themselves pure and healthy."
Who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name, thy kingdom come.
We believe that each child is created by God with a special divine purpose in life. So many have lost hope because of their circumstances. After they understand that they are loved and cared for, they learn that they can make a difference in their own community and country.
Very soon, we are going to see the King.
Meet Grace Saka, a student at African Vision of Hope in Changwe. Grace is 10 years old. She is in 3rd grade and lives in the village with 6 brothers and sisters. Her father grows some crops, and her mother takes care of the children. All of her brothers and sisters attend the African Vision of Hope school in Changwe. Before the school was built in this village, they met under a tree, and the community had to walk miles to get clean water. There are now 220 children attending school every day with new classrooms and a new well. This allows Grace to be at school instead of walking hours to get water. The school has transformed this rural village. By establishing schools, we are giving the gift of an education. By providing tailoring and sewing programs, we are giving students and adults a gift that they can use for a lifetime. The African Vision of Hope Farm is being developed and is growing nutritious food and providing training and farming skills that increase yields so families can provide for themselves. And many adults and youth are participating in leadership development provided through our African Vision of Hope partnership programs. When all these areas come together, education, healthcare, clean water, nutrition, spiritual growth, and economic development, you have a thriving community, a place that children and families can develop, grow, and become productive citizens and leaders in their country.
Much of Scripture is about the poor and the orphans and the widows, and I think it's very easy for us to skim over that and not really read what God is speaking to us about reaching out to the least of these. God has laid on my heart that where we live, latitude, should never determine whether we should live or die, or should never determine whether we have the ability to go to school or have a future. African Vision Hope's mission is to reach out to the vulnerable and orphan children in Zambia, which is a lot of children. One person can make the difference in the life of a child in Africa. They can make the difference by sponsoring a child or partnering with us in different aspects of African Vision Hope. And how they make a difference is they take that child from hopelessness, giving them an education, showing them that they have hope for their future, but not just hope that's temporary, hope that's eternal. That child's life changes. And when that child's life changes, they're going to make a difference in their community, they're going to make a difference in their country, and they're going to be able to turn things around one child at a time. Child sponsorship, yes, it is about donating money so that child can go to school every month, but more importantly and deeper than that, it's about a relationship. And I think if you allow it, it will not only change their life, but yours.
Major transformations in these children's lives, incredible miracles, lives changed forever. They are smarter, healthier, and they are building skills that they can use for a lifetime. They themselves are visions of hope. They have started to dream again, dreams that can now be fulfilled, dreams that are a part of God's plan for their lives. If Africa is going to change, it must begin with the children. Their potential and future are Africa's greatest resource. Over the past 8 years, you have taken a simple story and changed it into thousands of miracles. So now we need your help again to write the next chapter and tell the next story as we build classrooms so more children can learn, provide medical care to rural villages, construct a skills training building, and farms for the future leaders of Africa. Transforming communities one village at a time.
Thank you for giving us hope.
Please join us now.